for the Midland Legacy Rebels.
I don't think so.
It wasn't a tough night for the Midland Legacy Rebels. Now, very quickly before we move on, so for the Midland High Bulldogs, they actually got the win tonight. Now, I did say it on TV last night. Now, one thing that I will say is that it's not very shocking. Midland High, they're going to go forward. They're going to have a bye week next week, and then they're going to be playing an out-of-state Florida school in 2 weeks from tonight. So we're going to see more about Midland High next week.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see about that Florida school, being from Florida myself. Hopefully I can find my way to that game there. But yeah, what a debut at Sound Broadband Stadium for the Bulldogs.
That's right.
Getting a win in the first home game of the season.
That's right. Now moving on, San Antonio Cornerstone, they were actually in Midland tonight, and they defeated the Midland Christian Mustangs 42-44. So
to 24.
42 to 24.
Yes.
42 to 24. Cornerstone got the win tonight. Cornerstone got the win tonight.
No worries at all. But yeah, so Midland Christian now just still one win on the season for the Mustangs. Couldn't get it done against Cornerstone there.
Oh, and one more thing is that they will be going up against, Midland Christian will be going up against the Friendship Tigers last week. So we're going to see Friendship before they actually get into district with our local 6A teams over here in Midland and Odessa.
Yeah, should be some good scouting for the head coaches for the 6A schools, the two in Odessa, the two of them in Midland. Obviously, it would be a good one as well for San Angelo as well. But we're focused on our teams here in the Permian Basin. Should be some good scouting opportunities for them there.
Yes, that is true.
All right, let's check out our first Alert 7 Band of the Week, shall we?
Here's tonight's Band of the Week, brought to you by America's Wholesale Furniture.
So we had Fort Stockton and Crane to face off for Band of the Week. Let's see who won. It was a very, very close poll between the two. If you can see who pulled out the win. Fort Stockton by less than 150 votes, 7,412 to 7,279. Thank you all for voting. Let's hear the Panther Band. Congratulations to the Fort Stockton Band. A great game up on the schedule between Fort Stockton and Crane. Tyler Pogich was out there. Let's check in with Tyler, shall we?
Yeah, Jair and Jensen, we're here tonight in Crane for the matchup between the Crane Golden Cranes and the Fort Stockton Panthers. Let's take a look at how the first half went for both teams. On the first drive for the Cranes, quarterback Tyson Brents rolls out to find Jacob Benarjo for the first score of the day, making it a 7-0 game. But that lead wouldn't last long, as Layden Havis would tie the game up 7-7. Later on, though, in the first half, Brents would use the read option to fake out the Panthers' defense, taking it to the house right before half, making it a 14-7 game. But the Panthers wouldn't go into half down 7. Rylan Nunez would find the end zone with just 30 seconds left, making the score tied up 14-14 into half. The second half would be a much different story for the Fort Stockton Panthers, as they would go on to win tonight's matchup 41-20. Next week, the Golden Cranes will be taking on Odessa Compass, while Fort Stockton Panthers will be taking on the Liberty Patriots. Reporting for First Alert 7 Sports in Crane, I'm Tyler Poglich.
Thank you so much, Tyler. Now, Fort Stockton went on to get the win tonight over Crane 41-20. Fort Stockton is still undefeated. They are 4-0 on the season. Crane, they fall to 1-3, Jensen.
Yeah, look at that. Great start to the year for Fort Stockton. We were expecting big things from Fort Stockton. I know you talked to them before the season. Were they really expecting a 4-0 start?
Well, Jeremy Hickman is very confident in his team, but one thing that I'll say is that it's going to be we're going to have to look more when they go into district, when they go up against like the Monahans and Andrews. And
a very tough district, yes.
Yes, and they go up against all the different 4A schools that are surrounding this area. So that's when things are going to get more intense for Fort Stockton, but it's going to be very fun and very interesting to watch.
All right, well, a good start to the year for Fort Stockton, still undefeated, a team looking for their first win of the year, the Kermit Yellow Jackets. Let's check on them and the Eagles of Pecos. Out in Pecos this game is Kermit. Mauricio Perez fakes the give. He'll take it himself. He jukes out an Eagle defender and gets by another with the help of a good block. He gets a huge first down with his legs. And let's go right back to it. Mauricio Perez takes off. He weaves his way through the traffic wearing purple tonight. He finds the end zone 4-6. Touchdown, Kermit. Now it'll be Pecos ball this time. Colt Salgado, he keeps it. he will step up in the pocket and launch this ball. Who's going to come down with it? I'll spoil it. It's an Eagle. It's Jesus Navarro on the first play of this drive. Pecos, big touchdown to go, up 10-7 at halftime. They've maintained their lead, getting the win, 39-16. Kermit still looking for the first win of the year. Turn that 0-3 to 0-4, Jair.
Yeah, very tough for Kermit to start the year. As for Pecos, good for them to get another win tonight, or to get their first win of the season, if I'm not mistaken.
No, this is their second win.
Good for them to get their second win of the season. They're going to be going up against Fort Stockton, Monahans, and all those tough teams later on, so good chance for them to get some confidence. Now, one team that is definitely getting confidence is the Greenwood Rangers.
I'd say so.
That's right. Now, Greenwood, they hosted Sweetwater tonight. We'll start out with Dylan Payton. He gets the handoff and he goes to his right. He bulldozes his way to the end zone for the touchdown. Rangers go up 7-0. Now later on, Nathaniel Romero, he gets the handoff and he goes up the middle. He makes it to the end zone for the touchdown. 14-0 Rangers. Now Romero putting in a lot of work. He's in the end zone for touchdown number 2 on the night. We'll check out the final score. Greenwood, they held on against Shallow Water, 35-24, and Greenwood is now 3-1 on the season. 2 pretty big wins in a row for Greenwood, of course, beating Shallow Water tonight, and also don't forget, last week they took down the Andrews Mustangs on the road.
Oh yeah, very good start to the year for Greenwood. 3-1 is not a bad place to start. Obviously, you would like it to be 4-0 like we saw with Fort Stockton, but 3-1 is very good. The offense is definitely putting up enough points. Before the season, I was talking with Coach Brian Hill. He was saying that the big thing is that this team is really experienced together now. It's a very young team, a lot of new starters going into last year where they only finished with, I believe, just 3 wins in the entirety of last season. They've already matched their win total for this year. Now, it really seems like having that year of all these guys really coming together, the likes of behind quarterback Lincoln Madrid for the Rangers, really has benefited Greenwood this year, I'd say.
Yeah, so we're going to keep an eye on the Greenwood Rangers and see what they've got going on throughout the rest of the season. Should be fun, especially when they go, like I've said already, going up against the local 4A teams. We already saw what they did against Andrews. Now, speaking of Andrews,
okay,
they actually fell to Wichita Falls tonight, 50-27. Andrews is now 1-3 on the season.
There we go.
So Andrews, they're going to be hosting Monahans next Friday. That is something that we should definitely keep an eye on.
Yes, we were talking about Monahans as one of those tough teams in this division. And speaking of Monahans, they're another team that is only 1-3 on the season. They had a very tough opponent this tonight in the Wall Hawks, number 9 in the state of Texas. Only, again, 1-3 on the year after losing 27-20.
Yeah, so, I mean, Monahans going up against Andrews, those are 2 teams that are struggling to begin the year. So I'm already thinking about who I should send to that game. It should be a fun one between both teams. The Slot T offense going up against Fred Staff. Battle of Titans, in my opinion.
I'd say so. I mean, it's a good 4A matchup. 2 teams that we saw how good Monahans was last year. Obviously, losing Chino Navarrete at quarterback is not easy going to UTPB. We haven't seen much from him on the UTPB roster yet, but obviously he's a freshman, so he's got plenty of time. I think that we'll see probably some big things from Chino while he's at UTPB, but losing him is tough for the Monahans Lobos. Hopefully they can get back in the win column for themselves against Andrews, but Andrews having the same record as them at 1-3, they're going to have just as much fight, just as much to play for, looking for win number 2 of the year next week.
That is true. So we're going to keep an eye on that, and we're going to be there at that matchup. Now, one matchup that was pretty tough tonight is Bo Smith with the Compass Cougars as they fell to Idalou 63-0, and they're actually going to be going up against Crane next week. But Jensen, tonight, I mean, you know, Compass, I mean, this is just tough.
Yeah, this is not the sort of performance that you would be looking for, especially in week 4 of the season. Bo Smith coming to the Odessa Compass Cougars from Legacy, who we saw got a big win tonight, getting their first win of the year. But I don't know, just something was not clicking tonight.
Definitely not. So Odessa Compass, I mean, this is also, like you said, Bo Smith coming over from Legacy, so maybe it is sort of a rebuilding thing for the Compass Cougars.
It definitely takes time to start off with a new program.
Yeah.
We saw that last year with, as we were talking about Greenwood earlier, we saw that last year with Coach Brian Hill. This is only, I believe, just his 2nd year with Greenwood.
Yes.
Already a better start this year, so I don't know, maybe it is just a tough road to start for Bo Smith. kind of adjusting and really getting those players to buy in for Odessa Compass. But he seems like a good guy. He seems like he knows what he's talking about. Obviously had some success at Legacy, so maybe it's just a matter of time. Maybe it was just a really tough night against Idalou.
That's what I'm going to chalk it up to.
All right, let's check on our First Alert 7 Player of the Week.
The Player of the Week is brought to you by Ranger Clinic.
All right, for our First Alert 7 Player of the Week, Jair, we have co-winners. 2 incredible performances. We cannot ignore them. Seeing on your screen right now, that is sophomore running back for the Wink Wildcats, Kamad Fashawn. He is now back-to-back Player of the Week. Last week, he ran for 359 yards and scored 6 times in Wink's 60-7 win over Alpine. And now seeing on your screen, junior quarterback for the Ira Ann Braves, Prather Schneeman. He threw for an incredible 386 passing yards, ran for 46 yards, passed for 6 touchdowns, and ran for 1 as well. Incredible performances. Let's hear from the 2 of them, can we? I don't think we can hear from the 2 of them, unfortunate, but congratulations to the both of them. Oh, sorry, we can't hear from them. Let's hear from them.
Pretty big accomplishment, and I just want to thank my teammates for just helping me not only in the classroom but also everywhere else, and I just thank everybody,
Just my coaching staff and all our players in the offensive line and the skill players around me, allowing me to find them and being able to make a big play. A lot of it wouldn't happen without them catching the ball, making somebody miss, and going to score a touchdown.
All right, 2 incredible performances for those 2. Congratulations to the 2 of them. Let's check on one of them. Kamad Fashawn and the Wink Wildcats are hosting the Forsan Buffaloes tonight. Armando Gomez is out there, and he can bring us more.
In the first half has been all Wink Wildcats as the offense dominated, and the defense had some key moments in the game, as Fasciani, who's been a great player so far in this game for the Wink Wildcats. As both teams meet in the middle for the coin toss, Forsan Buffaloes still looking for the first win of the season, as Wink Wildcats looking for the 3rd win of the season. The Wink Wildcats' first drive of the game in the red zone, quarterback Loosby keeps it to himself and bounces to his left and walks in for the first touchdown of the game. Forsan Buffaloes punts the ball away, takes a bounce, and Ethan Cahill grabs the ball and he turns on the Jets as he runs across the field, weaving his way through the New York traffic, looking for a block as he makes his way down the sideline with a clear path to the end zone, as Braden Cervantes snatches the ball out of Cahill's hands just like stealing candy from a baby, as Cahill is stunned after the turnover. Second quarter, Loosby tosses it to Fasciani and he gets past through the defense with plenty of green turf ahead, and he marches his way for a 35-yard touchdown to double the lead. Forsan looking to respond back. Corey Evans makes a quick throw. Hayden Boylan, but he fumbles it and the Wildcats defense recovers the football. The Wink offense capitalizes from the turnover. Loosby steps back in the pocket and launches a bomb and drops it right into the basket for a 64-yard touchdown. Kaiten Noyola scores a 3rd touchdown of the night. The Wink offense was not finished yet. Hudson Morgan with the jump pass, finding Austin Evans in the end zone. That is Morgan's first touchdown of the season. The halftime score, Wink 26, Forsan 0.
And it would end as a big win for the Wink Wildcats, 46-6. Forsan now 0-4. The Wink Wildcats 3-1. The Wildcats have a good game next week against the Coahoma Bulldogs, who are 3-0. They had the week off, Jair. 3-0 for Coahoma, 3-1 for Wink. 2 very strong offenses meeting.
2 very strong offenses meeting, and clearly Armando Gomez likes offense, so I think I know where I'm going to send Armando to next week.
Maybe back to Wink in that case, because they'll be hosting it. Now, I mean, I've gone to Wink the past couple of weeks for Kamad Fashawn, as we just learned about, for Player of the Week. I might be taking a little bit of a liking to Wildcat Field. It looks like the Wildcats also enjoy their time at Wildcat Field. It typically leads to a lot of offense for them.
Yes, but now when it comes to the Wink Wildcats, very high flying and they're able to run the ball. They can do all things on the ground, and clearly they're playing defense against the Forsan Buffaloes, shutting them out at halftime. So Wink, pretty tough start to the year, going 0-1 in week 1, but they could definitely be a contender in 2 ways to go very, very far when it comes to playoffs. I'm not just talking district. We're talking playoffs.
We're talking playoffs here.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to some more games, Jair. Let's check out the Big Spring Steers. They are up against El Paso Bel Air. That is the first win of the year for Big Spring, 40-21. Congrats on your first win of the season.
Well, good win for Big Spring. As for El Paso Bel Air, I was going to try to make a Fresh Prince of Bel Air joke, but I've got nothing.
Yeah. You made the reference. Still there.
Yeah.
Shout out to Will Smith.
Maybe they need a Fresh Prince on that team to actually help them get a win.
Do they have anyone named Will or last name Smith? Maybe.
I'm sure. Maybe there is. I got to check out an El Paso Bel Air roster.
I think someone has to have the nickname of Fresh Prince on that roster.
Yes.
All right, let's get some more games going. Let's check on the McCaney Badgers and the Reagan County Owls. Big win for Reagan County, remaining undefeated on the season after a 50-14 win. Another team remaining undefeated, the Iran Braves, with quarterback Prather Schneemann, 40-0 over the Blizzards out of Winters.
Now, one thing I need to say, and I mean, I have got to say this.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to Iran.
Yes.
With what they are able to do over there. And if you are in Iran and you support the Iran Braves, I will say this. I think Dave Campbell's Texas football needs to put them in the top 10.
Yeah, we were saying this last week after a 60-7 win, now 40-0. So over the past 2 weeks, it's been a combined 100-7.
They are putting up points. They are playing defense. They are doing a lot on the field, Jensen. The Iran Braves are a team that people need to watch out for. I think they have to be in the top 10 after tonight. They have to do something. I have to put it out there.
At least strong consideration, I'd say, especially given the past 2 weeks have been so incredible. We don't know the final stats for Prather Schneemann, but obviously 7 touchdowns for him last week. The offense is absolutely incredible down in Iran. I mean, this is a team to look out for this year.
Yes, it is.
As you were saying.
Yes, it is. And now another team that we all have to think about is the Reagan County Owls. They are also undefeated. But before we move on, I just want to say that there was a lot of belief in Reagan County out of Big Lake from August about what they're going to be able to do in 2024. So good to see what Reagan County is doing. Yeah,
it sounds like it's warranted belief in the Owls out in Reagan County, out in Big Lake. The fans really getting to see the most of their Owls this season. 4-0 so far.
That is right.
All right, we got some more games to get to. Let's check on the Stanton Buffaloes and the Lubbock Roosevelt Eagles. Roosevelt getting a 36-14 win. Alpine couldn't get much done. I believe they were down to 0 points still through at least through 3 quarters. Ended up getting the loss 35-8 to Sonora there.
Yes, and then there was also some more games going on. Lubbock and Balmoral, Lubbock homeschool, defeated Balmoral 39-26. So I don't know what the Lubbock Titans are doing on their lunch break if they're all getting homeschooled, but clearly it's working well for them to beat the Balmoral Bears.
Yeah, I feel like when you are homeschooled, you don't have to have that long walk to lunch. So maybe they're taking that extra couple minutes at lunch, going from class to lunch and from lunch back to class, maybe they get some more time on the field. I don't know.
Well, actually, hold on. Who says that they're going to class if they're getting homeschooled? Maybe they're just practicing throughout the whole entire day.
Maybe.
You gotta think about these things.
Maybe. There's some really big high school programs across the country that do bring kids in, and it's a lot for sports. I don't know if that is the case for Lubbock Homeschool. I can't say. I doubt it. But a big win for Lubbock Homeschool tonight. Another team getting a big win is another team that is still undefeated. Look how close of a call this one was, though. The Buena Vista Longhorns getting a win over the Wildcats out of Water Valley, 54-52. Buena Vista will host Westbrook next week.
Yeah, so Buena Vista, very nice win. I mean, 4-0, just can't get any better than that. That's all I could say about that.
I mean, through 4 weeks, there is no better option, I'd say. Oh, well, I mean, that's when I guess when you can start looking at the scores and you want 54-0 over 54-52. But at the end of the day, 4-0 is 4-0. Let's look at some more scores. Fort Davis and Grady. Grady getting a big win over Fort Davis, 60-8. Another team scoring just 8. Borden County, Rankin, just doubling it. The Red Devils, 16-8 over Borden County.
Very nice win for both Grady and Rankin. Now we had some more scores. Sanderson holding Fort Hancock scoreless along with Sands. 52-0 for Sanderson. Sands 48-0 over Lorraine. So 6-man teams doing pretty well.
Yeah, so we just saw a couple that were not shutouts, now a couple that are shutouts. Again, now let's move away from the shutouts, but these are much closer, much higher scoring from both sides. Look at that 4-point margin. Erie County 44. Garden City just 40. Tough loss there for the Bearcats out of Garden City. Grand Falls, the Cowboys, 63-36 over Wellman.
Very nice win very nice games for our local 6-man teams. For Garden City, very tough loss tonight, 40-44.
That's the kind of loss where it's like, it's hard to really be like, you know what, could we really, maybe they could have done more, but it's really one that's like, when you lose by just 4, you can't make that up with a field goal. You would have to score a touchdown there. It's a tough one to really swallow the pill. When you score 40, you lose just by 4 points. It's tough.
That's right. Now, let's end tonight. Going off of a little bit of football.
Okay.
But we're going to talk about some history tonight. There's a lot going on between football scores, football editing, football highlights, and then you have playoff baseball going on. As a matter of fact. So the Midland Rockhounds, they advanced to the Texas League Championship round after defeating the Frisco Rough Riders tonight, 5-2. So they're going to be back at home this Sunday when they go up against the Arkansas Travelers. First pitch will be at 5 o'clock, Jensen.
Yeah, I know it was a big night. They named their player of the game as Jordan Groshans. He had also a pretty decent night on Tuesday when I was at Momentum Bank Park, where they got their first win of this series. Lost last night, but yeah, like you said, 5-2 tonight to get the win. Yeah, we'll see them back here in Midland on Sunday.
That's right. Now, one thing that you said is very tough pill to swallow. You just said that when it came to a football game, but now last night for the Rockhounds, it was a tough pill to swallow. They were down to their last strike, about to sweep and move on, but then Frisco hits a game-tying home run, and then go into extra innings and take a 3-2 lead, and then Frisco comes right back. So the Rockhounds, they're able to pull it out, and I have a lot of confidence as they head into this final series going up against Arkansas.
Yeah, if I'm the manager, Gregorio Petit, I wouldn't be too necessarily concerned about the loss last night, because all that really matters is that you won tonight. You're getting to the Texas League Championship Series now, and that's all that matters. You have 3 games ahead of you. You only need to win 2 of them, so you can forget the third game if you win the first 2. Win at home on Sunday, and then it should be in Arkansas. It should be Wednesday, I think that the schedule would have it. Yeah. So all you need is just 2 wins. If I'm Gregorio Petit, my team has done incredible things all year. 84 wins on the season, the most in Midland Rockhounds franchise history. First time back in the playoffs since 2019. It's crazy to think about when you put it into perspective that the last time that the Rockhounds were in the playoffs, you had no pandemic.
That is 100%.
Wow.
That is
so welcome back to the playoffs through all that we've seen now for the Rockhounds. Moving on to the championship series.
Yes, so we had a very packed night, but before we end off tonight, what are your final thoughts, Jensen? Football-wise.
Football-wise, okay. Well, real quick on the Rockhounds, best of luck to the Rockhounds. We'll see them on Sunday. I'll be there for that game. You can see the highlights on First Alert 7 News at 10 on Sunday, so be sure to tune in for that. Best of luck to the Rockhounds. As for high school football, it's crazy to think that we have just finished up week 4 of the season, already 40% of the way through the regular season. I feel like we just started week 1 last week. I feel like I just joined you at this desk, barely even knowing what's going on. It's so much fun being up here for all 4 weeks so far. Congratulations to all the teams. We do still have a good few that are undefeated. A couple still looking for their first wins. Hopefully they can get that soon now.
Yes, now just to close it out, we're going to keep an eye on our 6A teams. Midland High will have a bye week next week. Our local 4A teams will be going up against each other. 3As and 2As will be going up against each other, and some of them will be mixed between 4A going up against 3A. So we're going to be watching these games next week, and I'm going to have my crew all around West Texas and the Permian Basin checking on these games. But that will wrap it up here at First Alert 7. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Friday Night Blitz, and we'll see you guys back here next week.
Yes, we will.